What is RAM? Random access memory. What is RAM? Random access memory. Oh, where is this? Somewhere we missed. Yeah, this is what we are missing. So it's about a RAM and ROM. Guys, two primary memories. One is RAM and ROM. Primary memories are RAM and ROM. Secondary memories are hard disk, CD-RAM, floppy disk, USB like a pen drive. These are all the secondary storage devices. Primary storage devices are a RAM and ROM. What is RAM? Random access memory. ROM, read-only memory. Random access memory, read-only memory. RAM is a store data temporarily. ROM contains the data permanently. RAM stores the data permanently. Sorry, RAM stores data temporarily. ROM stores. ROM contains data permanently. RAM is an example for a volatile memory. What is a volatile memory? One second, guys. Our room is free. I will be shifting to room. Okay, for our last 1 hour. Be online. Okay. Now, what is volatile memory, guys? Volatile means whenever your
Volatile
device.
means
You tell me.
volatile means the it is the memory. It requires power to maintain the information.
Very good. Very good. So without a power means whenever you disconnect a power means you turn off your device or you disconnect a power, data will be lost in the device. Okay, that is a volatile memory. Very good. Non-volatile memory. So not depends upon your power supply. So whatever the data in the device, even it is connected or maybe even it is the power shutdown, the data remains in the device. Example for non-volatile memories are like a hard disk, SSDs, pen drives, SD cards also comes under non-volatile memories. Guys, so RAM is changeable. So we have a RAM, we can add a RAM, we can remove the RAM, we can replace the RAM kind of stuff. But ROM is a fixed chip on your motherboard. So whenever you want it, whenever you required, you cannot able to change it. Not like a randomly, you cannot able to change it. So it's a fixed chip on a motherboard. Today. Hello. Uh, okay. So our RAM also called as a main memory. So primary memories are RAM and ROM. Main memory is RAM. Okay. Main memory is our RAM, random access memory. It's the primary storage for CPU. Integrated circuit, something is there, it stores data temporarily. The data means your programs, instructions, and data stores temporarily. It is a kind of volatile memory. It required power source to store data. So what is RAM? Again, in a RAM, two type of RAMs are there, guys: static RAM and dynamic RAM. What is static RAM? Static RAM is also called SRAM. It is built based on a pure form of transistors. It is a costlier than dynamic RAM and it is faster than dynamic RAM. Okay, so we use SRAM as a cache memory which built inside of CPU. Inside a CPU, this SRAM is there for a cache memory purpose. And in a dynamic RAM is also called as DRAM. Different type of dynamic RAMs also there. ECC RAM, EDO RAM, VRAM kind of stuff. VRAM means video RAM, like a graphic card. Video RAM. Okay. SDRAM. The DRAM, dynamic RAM, further developed into SDRAM. That SDRAM is further developed into DDR, synchronous dynamic RAM. DDR, double data rate, synchronous dynamic RAM.
Excuse me,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
So where is EDO RAM used? ECC is used in servers, right?
No, it's not like that. It's a different RAMs. Okay. ECC is a error correction RAM. It's not only in the server guys, normal RAMs also with ECC feature is there.
Okay, sir.
They're just the names only, so don't worry. We are using DDRs. Okay. So double data rate, SDRAM, synchronous dynamic RAM is there. The next is DDR2, DDR3, DDR4, DDR5. DDR5 is also in market now because it supports Intel 12th generation processor like i3, i5, i7, 12th generation latest processors. The DDR5 required. Yeah, tell me.
So DDR6 is also there now in VRAM.
DDR6.
Yes, sir.
That is, I didn't see in any specification.
It's
Maybe
a
it may
VRAM,
be.
sir. It's a VRAM.
Yeah, that's a graphic card. The graphic
Yes,
card
sir.
use DDR3 or DDR5. Oh, sorry, DDR6.
DDR6, yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, DDR3 model graphic cards are a low-end graphics, cheaper graphics. You want
Yes, sir.
very high-speed graphics, then DDR6 is better option, right? In a built-in graphic card, we get a DDR6. Okay. Okay, simple to know it, guys. Anything is about any technology, processor, or maybe RAM, their compatibility, what is SSD, external hard disk. To know it, go to any e-commerce website. So there you can search. So you will get to know different type of things available. Okay. So different type of connectivities, different type of processors, laptops. So I'll tell you desktops, networking devices, components. Actually, we have to select the components kind of stuff. These are the mini pieces. So I will show you later again. So you want to buy a RAM. So RAM also having a certain specifications. What are the RAM specification? It is every RAM is having a certain kind of model. It is. So it is. There is a RAM. Okay. So what is this? This is a laptop RAMs. So deep. We can insert into a laptop. Okay. What type of RAM it is? DDR4 RAM, 30 to 100 megahertz clock speed. It is 8 GB RAM. Okay, 8 GB RAM it is. See, you can see different clock speed RAMs also. You can see it. Okay. So what is this? It is compatible with a certain kind of processors. So only we can use it. Processor and motherboard dependent. So motherboard support is required. Processor support is also required. RAM in a different sizes, MBs, GBs, TBs also is there. Mainly GBs we are using mainly in GBs, right? 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB currently. Olden days we have a MBs, 128 MB, 256 MB, 512 MB kind of RAMs are there. Now we are getting RAMs in the GB sizes, 4 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB. So minimum nowadays for 8 GB is better. 4 GB we are getting commonly, but 8 GB is better. 16 GB is good. Sorry. 4 GB is okay. 8 GB is good. 16 GB is better. And different speeds of processors. Different speeds are there. So this is 30 to 100 megahertz. So this is 1333 1600 megahertz speed. Okay, 2400 speed, 2666 speed. Okay, 3200, 3400, different type of clock speeds of a processor. RAM is there. Different model numbers, DDR3, DDR4 kind of model numbers also there, right? You have to check the processor which is suitable for your system or which is installed in your system. This is 1600 megahertz DDR3 model, 12 GB RAM. So it's not single one, it is two part. One is 4 plus 8. One RAM is 4, another one is 8. And it is form factor is SODIMM because it's laptop SODIMM package. This is availability of RAM out of this total RAM. This is in use RAM. Okay, each RAM has a certain voltage levels, low voltage, high voltage kind of stuff. Guys, you want to add new RAM. You want to add a new RAM or you want to replace existing RAM. Few things are important. Check CPU model. Based on your CPU, is this RAM is supporting or not? What kind of RAM it will support? And what size of the RAM? Means based on CPU model, you will get how much maximum size of RAM I can use it. Speed of the RAM, what speed of RAM I have to use it, or a model of the RAM I can use it. Okay, so that is we will know it. Okay, voltage levels. Different voltage levels also important based on motherboard, guys. Motherboard also having a slot. Some motherboard having single slot, some motherboard having two slots. some motherboard having a 4 slots. So number of slots, so the RAM, what we can able to select, we can able to do it like a DDR3 supported motherboard, DDR4 supported motherboard, DDR5 supported motherboards are different. DDR3 you cannot insert into DDR4 supported motherboard. For example, my laptop DDR3 supported. I want to insert DDR4 RAM. I can't do it. I want to insert DDR2. I cannot do it because of motherboard support. Okay. Number of RAM slots, memory type, what RAM memory type it is, DDR3 or DDR4, it is suitable. It is easy to know it, better to match with the old RAM. You are already having a system, means laptop or desktop, you want to change your RAM or you want to add one more RAM or you want to replace the existing RAM. Better to check with the old RAM. See the old RAM specifications and do as per that one. Okay. And also, of course, frequency matches. RAM also different packages like a DIP package RAM, single inline memory module type, dual inline memory module type, rambus inline memory module type, small outline DIMM packages are there. Guys, the first picture, it is a desktop RAM. It is large in size. You can say DIMM package. It is desktop purpose. This is a laptop RAM, SODIMM package. SODIMM for a laptop and mini PCs use this kind of RAM. And even you want to, whenever you are inserting or removing, do not touch the RAM. So you have to use anti-static gloves to remove the RAM and reinsert the RAM, or least to least, at least to least. So hold the edges. Okay. Each RAM having different pin configurations, of course. Let's understand about small things about a RAM.
Yes, sir.
Guys, so CPU related, one thing we discuss, what is it? Clean up the dust, okay, and make sure it is sitting properly, fan running properly, dust should be clean. So then CPU won't get overheated. If CPU is getting overheated, okay, it's not getting cool, so system will restart again and again. Another one is, I press the power button. The first in a system happens is a post operation. When I press the power button, post operation will be happens. That is called a power on self test. So what happens? System checks. Make sure that your CPU, RAM, your motherboard, on motherboard components are working or not. If post is successful, means the primary components are working good, it go to the next step of boot process. Means loading operating system kind of stuff. If it is and nothing on your screen, you may hear a beep sound, no LED blinkings. So it means your post is failure. Maybe because it's not completed. You press the power button, okay, and power LED is blinking, but nothing on your screen. On screen, nothing. It's only blank. On your keyboard, LED blinking is not there. Okay, so nothing. Even you move the mouse, no mouse pointer on the screen. Okay, no hot disk LED blinking. So what we can understand, there's something problem in your system. Okay, in generally, my voice problem. Can you able to hear, guys? Voice is clear, or I have to change it?
Sir, it's clear.
Okay. Okay. So mostly we blame on the RAM. Why? Because of RAM is connected to these slots. Processor is locked inside a that processor slot, and on the processor there is a heat sink, and the heat sink is tightly fixed on the processor. So we don't blame on a processor. Okay. Motherboard components are already fixed. RAM is little loose part. Okay. So what it is, sometimes you move the PC, you move the system list on the place. Sudden shocks to your PCs. Sudden shock means some heat is happened to your PC. Okay. And sometimes of dust. You are using for a very long time, the RAM edges become dusty. So what we can able to do it. So if in case you start your PC, nothing on your screen, maybe you hear the continuous beep sounds. So we mostly will go to the system, open the cabinet, try to clean up the system, remove the RAM, and reinsert the RAM, and try once again. Clean the RAM edges and use hand blowers. Okay, lightweight hand blowers. Clean up this RAM edges, RAM slots, and fix it once again and try. Okay, guys. So you got a post error, power and self-test error. Failed means when you start your PC, system is not booting. It is showing only LED, power LEDs blinking, not keyboard LEDs or nothing on your screen, and you may hear the no beep sound or multiple beep sounds. What we can do? So first of all, disconnect the main power supply and remove the RAM, clean up and fix the RAM again and check all other connections. Okay, and reconnect everything back and then power on, check it. And cross verify your RAM with other systems if possible. This is small RAM related troubleshooting. Sometimes RAM is failure, sometimes RAM is loose connected, sometimes because of dust. They are getting posted. So where is this RAM in the our count? So we have seen physically RAM location, but in a connectivity wise, guys. So we are not giving any input like instructions or data to the CPU directly. Your input devices, output devices, whatever the device it is, we are connecting through I/O controllers. I/O controller understand what device it is, what device number, I/O address, I/O memory address, IRQ address, IRQ number. So based on I/O controller understand what device it is and what is the instruction or data of a device it is. It give it to RAM. RAM take that instructions and data and give it to CPU. Inside a CPU, we have cache memory. First, cache memory will take it and give it to the ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. The process will happen at CPU. CPU done a process and give the information to cache memory to RAM, RAM to I/O controllers. I/O controller is giving to your I/O devices. So if it is required to store data, it will store into the storage like a hard disk. If it is required to display on the screen, go to the output devices. It has to require to do some other work, like it will do it. Okay. So this is how actual your system is diagrammed. Guys, CPU cache memory, which is built inside a CPU, means it's a single unit CPU. Next one is RAM and then I/O controller and I/O devices. And there is a north bridge and south bridge. What is the use of this north bridge and south bridge? North bridge is control the communication between CPU and RAM. Okay, it is administrate that communication, understand the process that communication between CPU and RAM. And south bridge is used to make a communication between RAM and other peripheral devices. From RAM to IO controller to the devices is controlled by south bridge. Okay. In the cache memory also we have different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay. So it is instruction cache and there is a data cache in the cache levels. Level 1, level 2, level 3 cache memories. So that is the picture of this. Does anything understand? Completely got it. So that is about your RAM and ROM differences and about the RAM. Next one we'll go to ROM. ROM is a simple chip, guys. It is used to it store data permanently. ROM is an example for a volatile memory, non-volatile memory. Sorry, ROM is example for a non-volatile memory. Now, unlike RAM is we can add a new RAM. We can replace existing RAM. Okay, we can replace existing RAM. We can add an additional RAM, right? So like the RAM, we can increase the size. Different size of RAMs are also available. RAM stores data temporarily. But ROM is not like that, guys. ROM is a simple chip. Okay, to boot the system, the ROM instructions and data is very useful. Okay, so initial days of ROM, so the companies build a ROM chip and put a program inside. Okay, and give it to the motherboard manufacturers. So what they done, so they don't want like that. So they want a empty chip, so then they can able to program ROM chip. So the ROM chip is next it is created like a ROM chip. Programmable read-only memory means that ROM chip you can program it once. Means once it is programmed, you cannot change. You cannot remove also. So what people done, just they implemented erasable programmable memory. Means you can write a program once, you can erase it once, and then you cannot reuse it again. Then EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. What is that use? We can rewrite program in the ROM chip. We can rewrite programs in the ROM chip. Of course, ROM is a fixed chip and ROM has a program called a BIOS. Okay, what is BIOS? Basic Input Output System. Basic Input Output System. This BIOS is nothing but a firmware or firmware or a firmware. What is firmware or firmware? It used to boot your device. What is use of firmware or firmware? It is nothing but a program which is used to boot your system. Okay, so you have a mobile phone, you power on your mobile. So how mobile phone knows how to power on? Not just a power supply, also it has to do certain things. It has to do certain things before it's completely turned on, right? So that is a firmware, guys. So in our computers, we call it as a BIOS. What is a BIOS? Is a firmware. So upgraded version of BIOS is there. Nowadays, you buy any new laptops or desktops, we are getting a UEFI, Unified Extensible Firmware interface. It's a new version of BIOS. Okay. Very good. No one is talking. No one is even not responding. Even I stop.
Hello, sir.
Tell me.
Your voice is not coming.
Because no one is responding. Just I'm talking to myself only.
We thought you were disconnected.
I'm listening,
Ask
sir.
that you understand 5 times, 10 times. That's no response. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, so what is
Yes, okay,
BIOS?
sir.
Basic input output system. It's a firmware is used to boot your system. So during boot up, it performs post operation, power on self-test operation. When you power on your system, first system do post operation, power on self-test. And your BIOS also do, it recognize the hardware devices. What CPU it is there, what RAM is inserted, what kind of RAM is inserted. A hard disk, CD-ROM. Okay, so like what are the things are connected to the motherboard, like CPU, RAM, hard disk, CD-ROM, like that. It will recognize the hardware devices. It locate and loads operating system. The BIOS will tell you how to locate an operating system, which order it we have to locate operating system devices, and how to load operating system is also told by your BIOS only. It helps operating system to access hardware devices. Okay, hardware devices. This BIOS chip manufactured by different organization. AMI BIOS, American Megatrend Inc. AMI, American Megatrend Inc. Edward BIOS, Phoenix BIOS, Dell BIOS, Infinix BIOS, Infinity or Infinix something is there. Okay, HP BIOS, like a different companies manufacture this BIOS chip. Okay.
Sir, there is a legacy BIOS also.
What it is?
Legacy.
Legacy. Guys, nowadays we are having a UEFI. You buy any new laptop or desktop, instead of BIOS, you are getting UEFI. To tell, do you want to use the old one? Yeah, right. Old one, BIOS. Then it will give an option legacy. Legacy means BIOS. Not legacy means UEFI.
Only up to 2 TB hard disk that was.
Yes, BIOS will support not a 2 TB. Even it is support higher. Okay. And that is another part is also there. Okay, that is different. MBR and GPT involving.
Sir,
yeah,
so the RAM can be extended.
When can we?
Sir, can we nowadays we are using extendable RAM. By using this advanced film self, we are using this extendable RAM, sir.
Extendable RAM.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I know that one, guys. RAM is on your board. Okay, either it is a laptop or desktop or mobile phone. It's a fixed RAM memory. It is. The extendable RAM means you have a storage. So if you combine this storage means in your storage space, we can combine this RAM to this one. It is just for a people encouragement purpose. It's not a new concept, old concept only. Normal storage. So make it as a memory and this one. Guys, you buy a 8 GB RAM mobile and you extended means you are take some space from your memory card or something. Okay, and something like a 4 GB or maybe 8 GB. Now you are saying I am having 16 GB. But original performance is 8 GB only. How much physically RAM is there, that is important. Not how much extended you can do it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
We have virtual memory, paging memory, virtual memory kind of is also there. Okay. Physical RAM is mine is 16 GB, sorry, 12 GB RAM is there in my laptop. That is a physical RAM I have. Okay. So RAM stores data in page wise. RAM stores data in page wise. Next. I have a hard disk. From hard disk, I can give certain space to the RAM purpose, means memory purpose, using concept called virtual memory or virtual RAM or swap memory or page file system. Page file means it is virtual memory related. Okay, RAM store data in a page file system. Yeah. So we are all in BIOS, guys. In the BIOS, it contains information. What are the motherboard related information already in your process, your BIOS chip, and what are the devices are connected to the motherboard, like a CPU, RAM, or hard disk or CD-ROM. That information it will recognize, it will understand the devices, it store that information here. The BIOS controls entire your hardware. Okay, so BIOS contains your hardware. You can change these hardware features, enabling, disabling, some numbering changes, feature changing is there. As you said, like a legacy support type or a UEFI support type, boot processing. In a boot processing, boot priorities, we can define the boot priorities. You can define date and time in the BIOS. How to? You have to go to the BIOS settings. BIOS contains hardware information. We can check or change some hardware settings through BIOS settings. How to go to the BIOS settings? When you power on your system, on the screen, you can see press F2 to go to setup, press del to go to setup, press 1 to setup, press F10 to setup, press F12 to setup. it means that is your BIOS key. Know your BIOS key. Most probably earlier days, olden days, we used Dell as a BIOS key. Now, not only a Dell, other BIOS keys are there, depends upon the manufacturer of BIOS. F2, F10, F12, F11, F9, like that. Function key is there on top of your keyboard. You can see F1 to F12. Okay, so there is a function keys. So power on your system, immediately press the BIOS key. So it will take you to the BIOS settings. It will take you to the BIOS settings. You can check the date and time. You can check the date and time. You can change the date and time. It runs in your chip. You can check your system configuration about CPU, RAM, hard disk, CD-ROM information. You will get it from here. You can change some hardware features. You can enable it, disable it, or you can change certain parameters for it. Certain settings also you can do it. You can disable certain devices. In order to protect these settings, you can give a password to your BIOS. Guys, BIOS password is different from operating system password. When you turn on your system, so you wait and then you got a username and password. You type username and password.
Yes, sir.
You log into your computer. Okay. But BIOS password is different. BIOS password is to, if someone is trying to access your BIOS settings and want to change certain settings, they need a supervisor password, BIOS supervisor password. Otherwise, they cannot able to change. To protect it from unauthorized users, we can assign a BIOS password for it. In a BIOS, there is a boot priorities. Means when you power on your system, from which device operating system loaded. So it is a priority list. Try to load from CD-RAM. If CD-RAM having a bootable drive, load it. Otherwise, check in a removable device, means like a pen drive. Check any pen drive having an operating system. Okay. Like that, it will check one by one. Once it is found an operating system, it will load. Okay. So first it check in CD-RAM, then removable device, then hard drive, then network boot. For suppose I have a hard disk, it contains an operating system, it load OS from hard disk, then it won't check the other devices. Okay, this is the boot priority. Okay, guys, this is about a boot BIOS settings. So to go to BIOS settings, you have to press power button and immediately press the BIOS key. Another option is also there, that is advanced settings options that will tell separately. Okay, you can check your system configuration along with date and time, CPU, RAM, and cache memories, your hard disks, and CD-RAM information. You can change settings. You can give passwords for that. Guys, these are all settings stored in your BIOS temporarily. Why it is temporary? So when you shut down your system, these settings are informations like a date and time, okay? Your what are the settings you are given, the passwords you are given, BIOS passwords you are setted. This entire thing is go to the factory default after you shut down your system. But we need it, this information every time, okay, to work with our system. Okay, so what we will do it? What we will do, we need a battery. So we chose lithium battery. It is a 3 volts lithium battery, which powers this BIOS chip to maintain this type of data and continuously running the data. Okay. So if you shut down your PC, data lost in your BIOS chip, so whatever the configuration you've done, the data will be lost. It go to the factory default. To prevent it, so we are using a battery. It is a lithium battery, 3 volts battery, to give a power supply to your BIOS chip. This battery called as CMOS battery. CMOS battery. Okay. What is CMOS? Complementary metal oxide semiconductor field effective transistor. This is transistor, guys. It's not a battery technology. CMOS is a IC technology to manufacture any chip like a DRAM, ROM, or it can be a processor, or it can be a graphic card, or it can be audio chip. So these are all built based on a CMOS technology only, CMOS transistors only. Okay, so CMOS is not battery. CMOS battery is lithium battery, 3 volts battery. CMOS is actually it's a chip manufacturing technology. To keep a data like this, date and time, BIOS passwords, BIOS settings, and that configurations, we need this lithium 3 volts battery, which is called as CMOS battery. Let's understand CMOS battery.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, CMOS checksum error. You power on your system. So for CPU, I told CPU is getting overheated, system restarts itself without showing any warning. System automatically restart itself means CPU is getting overheated. Next, you press the power button, you're not getting anything on your screen and your keyboard LEDs is not blinking and you may hear a continuous beep sound from your desktop. Okay, so that meaning is it's a post error. Most of the time, the sudden movement of system or you are moving your computer means system, your desktop from one place to another place because of loose connectivity or maybe because of dust. So your RAM may not work properly. So we'll clean up the RAM and remove the dust and try it again. This is one reason, guys. It's not always same. And here in this one, I'm telling one point, that is CMOS checksum error. You power on your system. Now on your screen, it shows CMOS checksum bad or CMOS checksum error. Select a function button F1 or F2 to go to the setup and do necessary things. You know why it is will come. So two reasons. One is your CMOS chip means your BIOS chip is corrupted. Second one, someone removed that battery and reinserted. Our battery power is lost. Okay, the battery has a voltage, right? 3 volts voltage is there. Any battery, your TV remote battery, okay, any battery after certain period of time it will be drained. Generally, this lithium 3 volts battery works up to 3 to 5 years. Okay, but sometimes maybe it is a volt system, maybe because of its volt system, or maybe someone removed your battery and reinserted battery, or maybe the battery is almost in a dry situation. In that cases, also you will get a CMOS checksum error or a CMOS checksum bad. Okay. So every time you are changing settings and you are getting same error. Tell me.
Sir, can you perform this right now? Can you perform this right now?
Which one?
To check the battery. CMOS checksum.
So yeah, you have a desktop. Okay, so first of all settings are good. So what you do, power off your system, remove the backside power connection, remove the battery and reinsert the battery and connect everything back and power on your system. So first you may see this CMOS checksum error. So what to do? Nothing. Just go to BIOS settings, change the settings what you lost, change it back, and then run your system. Okay. In case you use a system for very long period of time, and now it is started every time, even you change the settings, but the next day when you start your PC, okay, so you are getting a CMOS checksum on your system. Then it is a battery become weaker.
Okay, sir.
Guys, there is two more things. One is motherboard, another one is your SMPS. Only small points only. It take hardly 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes max. So tomorrow we will discuss about these secondary storage devices and different storage devices are there now. So we'll see that one, and hard disk, SSDs, difference between hard disk and SSD, MBR, GPT, partitions related. Once we done that one, then we can able to discuss about a boot processing and troubleshooting in the boot processing, and operating system is there. Okay, certain services, BSOD, continuously it is troubleshooting related. So tomorrow we have a class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If possible, I will put a full day class, means morning and afternoon. So depends upon tomorrow mode. Morning we have a class definitely. Afternoon we'll see. Okay. Now just we'll look at what is motherboard, what is SMPS. That's enough. Because the everything is small things also important to understand next one. So simply people will tell about a BS body. How to tell BS body without knowing what is the basic information? Okay, that is the problem. So what is a motherboard, guys? It's a main circuit board. So we are all connecting our devices, our CPU, our RAM directly on motherboard. So here the CPU will goes. This is where we can connect a RAM. This is where we connect your graphic card. So you want a NIC, additional NIC you want to connect it, or you want a additional USB ports you want it, you will connect on the PCI slots. Okay, so devices either they connect directly on motherboard or to the motherboard, like a hard disk we are connecting to motherboard. Okay, CD-ROM we are connecting to motherboard internally. Okay, so externally to the motherboard through the back panel or front panel connection of system. So we can connect like you are connecting keyboard, you are connecting mouse, you're connecting LAN cable. Okay, you're connecting a TV, you're connecting monitor. Okay, like this. So you have a monitor. So everything must be connected to your motherboard only. Either on motherboard or to the motherboard internally or externally. We are connecting to our motherboard only. So each motherboard having different form factors also. And on motherboard, we have a different type of slots or sockets like a CPU, memory, expansion slots. Okay, different chipsets are there. SATA, PATA, connectivity, floppy disk drive connectivity, CMOS battery, power supply connector means SMPS connector. Okay, heatsink connectors, front panel connectors are there. These are the RAM slots on motherboard. So how to insert a RAM slot? This is the back panel of motherboard, guys. PS by 2, parallel port, VGA port, COM port, Ethernet port, and audio jackets are there. PS by 2 is used to connect your keyboard and mouse in the very olden days. Later, it is now we are using a USB. But very recent motherboards have checked. So that is at least they are giving one PS by 2 mouse connector. So to reduce the number of USB per system. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So VGA port is used to connect your monitor. VGA port is used to connect. It's a 15-pin port. Okay, you can see 3 lines, 5, 5, 5. Okay, used to connect monitor or a projector, VGA port projector. Olden days use a parallel port. Parallel port. Parallel port is usually used for connecting the line printers. That's a parallel port also called as a LPT, line printer terminal. The COM port is also called as serial port RS-232. USB, universal serial bus. To connect any kind of devices nowadays, like a pen drive type or printers, we can connect it. Okay, different devices we can able to connect with USB. Audio, already for mic, speakers, and lining purpose. These are the back panel connectors. So I added this additionally. That is SDMI port. What is SDMI port? So connecting your TVs or projector. Guys, VGA port only display, not audio. SDMI transfer both audio and video to your TV or to your projector or your TV, your external device. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And next device is SMPS, switch mode power supply. So guys, we are getting main power supply is 220 volts or 230 volts AC power supply, 50 Hz frequency and sine wave. But in
Sir,
our
could you explain about sir, COM ports? Sir, once explain about COM ports, sir.
Okay. COM port is a communication port. Usually earlier days they used to connect modems. Okay, also called as RS-232. You want to configure a router or a switch, you have to connect through the COM port on the RS-232. You want to configure or a program in a microcontroller, microprocessor kind of stuff, we use this COM port. Okay, COM port. Why they call COM port means olden days there is a external modems to connect internet. So external modem to PC interface for a PC. Now we are using RJ45. That time modem to PC COM port connection is there, serial port connection. Okay, that RS-232 protocol, that is the port comes under RS-232. Okay, serial port RS-232, COM port all are same. Same as parallel port and LTP, means line printer terminal, same names, no difference. Okay. Max to max, now everything is replaced by USB. Okay. Guys, so our main power supply is AC power supply, that to 220 volts, 230 volts, and 50 Hz frequency, means it's a sine wave. Our computer required a DC power supply, like your mobile phone running with a battery, because it runs with a DC power supply. Okay, your battery is DC also. For a system, we need a plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, 3.3 volts, and there is a common wire is also there. So we need this type of voltages. What to do? So we need a SMPS. Okay, we need a SMPS. SMPS, switch mode power supply, converts this AC power supply to DC power supply as per our requirement. So we use generally 80X type of SMPS plus additional 4-pin or 6-pin or 8-pin for CPU power connector is required. These are different power connectors, guys. This is for CPU 4+4-pin, and this is 24-pin connector. If you have a SATA hard disk or SATA CD-RAM, for that one, this power supply connector. You have a old hard disk type, means part2 type of hard disk or CD-RAM, then we use this type of Molex connector. Of course, we are not having floppy disk nowadays. This is for a floppy disk. See, this each color indicates certain voltages. Okay, this is your SMPS to motherboard. Two connectivities. One is 24-pin. This is 24-pin power connector. Another one is CPU purpose 4 or 6 or 8-pin connector from SMPS to your motherboard. Okay. For hard disk, so it based on the hard disk type, it's SATA or PATA. There is a separate power connector coming from your SMPS. Okay. So tomorrow we'll see about a hard disk, mainly hard disk storages, partitions, and all. Morning, same timing only, guys, almost like 10:30. Any changes, I will inform you.
Okay, sir.
That's it for today.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, all this hardware stuff, are we gonna use it in industry, sir? Just in the role which we are got training right now.
Yeah, that's actually people will confuse in part, guys. You don't need to do any hardware troubleshooting, direct physical hardware troubleshooting. You don't need to do as a know, but you should understand of hardware components and function and issues. Okay, for maybe for this profile or maybe in any profile you are learning, anything you're learning, but you should require each component purpose. Okay, even you take a cloud is a data center which is maintained by someone. Okay, which is maintained by someone. We are accessing it, but someone is maintaining it. It contains physical servers, right? Physical network connectivity, like that. Physical storage devices. So obviously these are the basic things to understand and actually. Okay. And I don't know what, based on your project, once you are joining to the thing, it is also required to know the basic hardware details for provider support in a L1 level. network or hardware or a server storage. Yeah, that's enough.
So
Okay.
mainly we have to focus on the network